I'm that same rabbit who once only cared about carrots and a warm little home. But now, I search for truth and for hidden tales. Today, I'm sitting behind the microphone in my small room next to a laptop filled with sand and sunlight. I want to tell you about Egypt, about a journey that began simply, but changed my heart forever. I was sitting in my burrow, a cup of chamomile tea in hand, eyes fixed on an old map above the fireplace. My eyes landed on a small spot by the Nile River, Egypt. I don't know why, but in that moment, my heart stirred. I packed my bag, picked up my laptop, and said to myself, it's time to go. To somewhere warm, somewhere the sand can speak. Cairo, a noisy, lively city, the sounds of car horns, people shouting, and the call to prayer echoed in my ears. I was walking through Khan el-Khalili Bazaar. Spices danced in the air, and colorful fabrics hung from the ceiling. An old man, sitting by his stall with shining eyes, said, "You've come from a cold land, haven't you? Take this indigo necklace, it's good for journeys." A necklace with a blue stone, the color of the Nile. It was a promise of a story yet to be told. I arrived in Giza, just as the sun was settling on the edge of the sky. The pyramids, tired, but watchful guardians, cast their long shadows deep into the desert. I sat on one of the stones. I opened my laptop, but I couldn't write, because I felt a presence draw near. A fox appeared, his fur looked like dusty gold, and his eyes held 1,000 years of secrets. He said, "Where do you come from, weary long years?" I smiled. "From a place where the rain falls softly, and stories are whispered inside burrows," he nodded. "Then you are one of words. Come, this desert has something to say tonight." We sat together. He brought tea with mint and cinnamon. His name was Ramses, a descendant of the guardians of the Library of Alexandria. And then, he began to tell a story that still echoes in my ears. Ramses, once, Egypt slept inside its temples. People bowed to the gods of the sun, the sky, and the Nile, but their hearts were empty. Then a voice rose from the desert. Amr ibn al-As, a wise and faithful commander, set out for Egypt after receiving permission from Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. His journey led him through the burning deserts of Hijaz, Palestine, and Greater Syria. The sound of camels and the heartbeat of faith traveled with him. When he reached the borders of Egypt, he found the great fortress of Babylon standing near what is now Cairo. A strong, stone castle ruled by the Romans. But instead of choosing war, Amr chose diplomacy. He told the Copts, "We have not come to take your land or your wealth. We have come to bring the message of truth, to free you from the oppression of the Romans." The Copts, who had long lived under pressure, listened, and their hearts softened. They accepted the new faith not by force, but by choice. The conquest of Egypt was not won by the sword, but by invitation and belief. The siege of the Babylon fortress was long and difficult. The Romans resisted fiercely, while Amr pursued peace with patience and wisdom. At night, there were prayers and counsel, by day, strategy and thought. Then, one day, the leader of the Copts Mukakas came forward with a message of peace. He said, "If your religion calls for justice, then we stand with you." Amr replied, "We have not come to force you. You are free in your faith. You will only pay a fair tax jizya in return for protection and peace." And so began a conquest not made with bloodshed, but through dialogue and respect. The mosque of Amr ibn al-As was built on the site of the Babylon fortress. A symbol of peace and faith, the call to prayer was heard there for the very first time. The churches remained untouched, and the priests were respected. Islam entered Egypt with love, and one by one, the people found the light of faith. This conquest was a conquest of hearts.